FileMakerTraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. Oh, me and Chris were just talking about Claris community, well, not community, but basically FileMaker events across the world. Christian himself attends a lot of them, so if you're like, man, I really need to meet this man in person, I would highly recommend it and go visit him at one of the many conferences. I think one's popping up with that in the next 2 weeks. Yeah, the 8th to the 10th of September. Nice. Oh, in the US too. So y'all should go by and say hi to Christian. So real quick, we do this 5 days a week. We cover a lot of topics. So today we're doing a FileMaker MBS Plug-in Q&A. MBS Plug-in is frankly one of the best plugins you can have as a FileMaker developer, like unequivocally. If you are developing and you don't have MBS, your life is rough, and I feel bad for you. Seriously, go get it. There is a free version. I highly recommend it. It makes development so much easier and allows you to like resolve so many like problems that otherwise, FileMaker can do a lot, but you need to do that little bit extra, and you're like, that's when you go get the MBS plugin. Also, if you'd like your variables to be auto-completed, that's probably like my favorite feature of all time. With that all being said, oh, right, you should go download this, seriously. FileMaker plugin, go download it. But go pay for it, frankly. It costs very little. What it does, like, Christian should charge more, frankly, as I think Richard always likes to say, but he doesn't, and the FileMaker community is very grateful, so you should go buy it. But there's also a free version with a ton of free functions, so you should go get that. Speaking of which, hi, Christian, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing fine.
Good, glad to hear it. I hear we're doing a Q&A today.
Yeah, I hope people have some questions. Otherwise, we may show some cool stuff.
Ooh, I mean, I'm always down for cool stuff. I saw a question floofing around in the chat immediately about encrypting container files. I can read that out loud. Question from Nextech. How would we automate the encryption of a container file with our client's PGP key and then FTP the encrypted file to their server?
Yep. This is a two-part question. One thing is PGP. PGP is GPL license as far as I know, so we can't add it to the plugin due to the licensing, but you can run it as a command line utility. And for this, you would go and use the shell functions. So you would have a command line utility, you would have the key file, and you would build the path where you pass and the input file, the output file. So you would put it probably a temporary file in a temporary folder and encrypt it. Once you have it encrypted, you would read it into your container field if you like. But you could also use our curl functions to directly upload from disk. So we have this open input file function, so you could have your temporary file directly be used to stream the data to the FTP server. And here's an example from upload via FTP. Actually, usually FTP comes in basically three flavors. This is unencrypted basic FTP from 50 years ago. Then you can have encryption if you use set option use SSL to tell the plugin to do SSL. Let me find that for you. So here, oh yeah, we have a search function, option SSL use. So you can tell here value 3. So you just say the plugin, please use SSL, and I want it to have for all communications. So if there's no SSL available, I would get an error. And this is named SSL. Nowadays, it's actually TSL because SSL evolved into TLS, and we are currently at TLS 1.3 in the plugin. And you would use here a script like this. You would set the input URL FTP with SSL, or maybe better SFTP, which is FTP through SSH. And then you tell the plugin, yeah, you want an upload, you want a password, a username. For SFTP, you can also have a username and a key file instead, if you prefer that. Then you need to pass in the file path for your temporary file after the encryption to the plugin, and it would open the file and see how big the file is, so that I can report back progress if you want to use that. Otherwise, if you have it in a container, you could use that input file to tell the plugin to use this container content as input. And then you call perform or perform in background to run the transfer, either waiting in the script. So this line completes when the transfer is finished, or you do it as a background transfer, and then the user can do other things while waiting. And on the end, please always get the debug messages. This is a debug log where you can read all about what happened in the transfer. And there's no sample here, but yeah. And don't forget to release.
There
From
you
time to time, we have customers who complain that they have 100 open curl sessions, and yeah.
Well, yes, that's what you have to add the release function into it. That's funny. Let me know if that answers your question next. I can ask follow-ups if you've got any. Speaking of related curl questions, of the many MBS commands, someone please explain to me which MBS commands I should use to load a client.send to the request.
What? A client?
Hold on. I'm going to copy the question from where it is. So I recommend that Christian read it on the Discord, which is, I use a web service thanks to Scriptmaster and Groovy. With Catalina, the ease of use was lost. Of the many MBS commands, can someone please explain to me which MBS commands I should use to load the bold lines in curl? The code Groovy, which is client new soap, and then they want you to list equal client.send. Basically, they want to send these commands using MBS.
Yeah, we have some Java code, and here some link happened in the Discord formatting.
Mm-hmm.
Did it got disturbed, the code, or is that all?
That was all that I got. So.
Okay, so they want to make a SOAP request.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have on the perform function, we have a sample for that. So yeah, general request. So you would set the option header. So I see in the request, they load a VSDL, which we usually don't do ourselves. We use an application like SOAP UI.
Mm-hmm.
SOAP UI, where is it here? So soapui.org, there's an open source version, so you can use the free version if you like, or get the paid version. And this one can load the VSDL file and then generate sample requests for all the commands in the description file. You would need to use some headers for SOAP service. So let me see. Usually something like SOAP. Where's SOAP? So you would need to put in a SOAP action header and a content type. Like the content type could be something like text XML, and the SOAP action is just whatever action is defined in the VSDL file. And then you need to build the XML, and for this you have the XML functions in the plugin if they help you. Do I have a VSDL here somewhere? Is this here VSDL? Yeah, this is one. So this is a VSDL, which is an XML file, or I should
Mm-hmm.
just rename it to XML. So this is an older one from FedEx. So if you get a sub-service, you usually get a VSDL with it and some credentials so you can log in. And now you may want to launch SOAP UI. Does it launch? Something for the editor, yeah. So new SOAP service. On this thing, yes. Yeah. So no, I want to make a new subservice here, test, and I browse for the VSDL, and no. Can I just drop the file into it? Yeah, open. Okay. So let's see if that works. Yeah. So SubUI builds you here the sample requests.
Oh, okay.
And so we can see the request here. And you see the XML you would pass into the service. Like here. Yeah, you see here a key, password, you would have to fill in the things. Some are optional. Some can repeat. So you may want to check the documentation or just read the VSDL documentation. Like here in the VSDL, I can see things together. And then I can, for example, see postal code is a string which has which is optional, so it can happen one time or 0 times if I don't have a zip code. And here a barcode is given here as what barcode type I would like. And so you can build your XML and send it. And here you have the URL to send it against, which is usually on the end in the VSDL. So here you find here the service has a port and there's a location. So there's a URL where you send it to. And every one of your commands does have a SOAP action, which is usually the same name as the command, but it doesn't need to. So for added difficulty, it can be different. And so you can actually test your call here and send it against the server. And yeah, didn't work, of course. But you see here the raw request where you see the header. So you see what you can pass for content type and what the SOAP action is. Yeah.
There you go.
So you can use a VSDL with SubUI to get the ID of the XML. You can use our XML functions, the plugin to build the XML.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to just use text functions, but if you use text functions, I highly recommend that you use here code XML. Where is it here? To use our little helper function, which encodes special characters, so you don't get trouble with special characters in your texts. Otherwise, your XML would get invalid and your call wouldn't go through. And of course, we have here a couple of XML functions. Oh, let me see how many. 49. So usually you would use here something like set pass value, where you have your template XML, and then you would say within the template, I would want to go to the person array here, first name field, and just add a new entry. Yeah, or whatever here. I mean, you would go here and say, find me here the envelope, find me the body, the cancel pending shipment request, the web authentication user. So you would go down the path here to fill in the key or password and add the values. Yeah.
There you go.
Do you have a follow-up question maybe?
I think he's probably on delay, so if he has one, then
Yeah.
he will give us it in about 90 seconds. But in the meantime,
Yeah.
hey Christian, I have a 100-page long manual I would like to make available to my clients only. They should not be allowed to download the manual, but I want them to be able to scroll. I tried with WebViewer, but I cannot allow scrolling while at the same time locking the download of the file. Would MBS fix this?
Is that was it WebDirect or FileMaker Pro?
Uh, he doesn't use
I don't.
WebDirect. He uses FileMaker Pro. So,
Yeah, in that case, I would suggest to take a look on our preview functions. Let me close here. So we have preview, yeah. So we have preview functions to make a PDF viewer on the FileMaker layout, but FileMaker doesn't know about, and that doesn't have a download feature.
ooh,
So that's maybe what you want. So let's see. We have the examples coming with a plugin, and There is a PDF viewer example where you drop in some PDF to read. Here, installation and show preview. Wait, I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
Go to library, no, library, application support, yeah, FileMaker, and we have the plugin not activated.
Oh, that would do it.
I'm sorry.
No, you're
I can
good.
show you why. I just made some screenshots with and without plugins. So let's say you go here and you
Mm-hmm.
go to this context menu and you see this list.
Yes.
Okay, remember this list.
Yes.
Now we quit it. We open it again with the plugin. And there's a little change to this context menu.
Oh,
It's now sorted.
I see. That's cool, actually.
So if you have not here 5 things, but you
Hmm.
have 20,
Yes.
the sorting will be very handy.
That will be exceedingly handy, is what that will be.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so no, if you have the plugin installed, you can actually load the PDF.
There we go.
And this is the PDF viewing control from the MBS plugin. There is no download here. There is, wait, there's a context menu. I can't, no, wait. Is that's FileMaker, isn't
I was
it?
going to say that's FileMaker's menu, right?
Yeah, okay. So that's not a
It's not
problem.
interacting with the PDF, it's just interacting with the record.
Yeah, so you can scroll up and down, and this also works on Windows.
That's really cool,
And
actually.
on Windows, we have a couple of options because there
Hmm.
is, what is it? There's a, wait, we don't have? No, that was the web viewer. Okay. So you can define just a few little options, and basically you load it from a container or from a file. Please try it. Let me know how it works for you and if it solves the problem. Otherwise, you could also just take the PDF and render pictures. You know, we have functions like PDFKit or Windows PDF, like here, where you can get page images, where you can get images from a page of a PDF document.
Hmm.
So you could have a big layout where you would show the container files with a picture, and so the user can go through the records with the, with the pictures and see the pictures.
There you go. That's actually awesome. So that's a really clean answer to that problem.
Yeah.
Is there
So
an
either
option to do it on WebDirect, or is it not possible on Web? Well, right, the plugin doesn't
WebDirect.
work on WebDirect.
So the preview function doesn't work on WebDirect because the plugin has no way to modify the browser content, the web page. The picture thing would work on the WebDirect.
Hmm.
So you would make the pictures either you would prepare that at FileMaker Pro when you add when you import the PDF, or you would do it server side on the fly. Yeah.
There you go. Hi Christian. Is it possible to create a text file from the clipboard with using MBS?
Text file from the clipboard. Well, we have functions. Search clipboard. Oh, you have to type correctly. So you could use here clipboard get text, which would get you the text from the clipboard into a variable.
Ooh.
Then you would want to write text. Would use one of the write text functions like this one to just pass the text as a variable here and then put it on a file. So
There
it's a
you go.
combination of 2 functions.
There you go. That's nothing. You can do that no problem.
Let's see, we don't have it as an example here already. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
You can also do things like here replacing line endings because you may want to convert between a Mac, Unix, or Windows text file.
Mm-hmm.
And you should know the text encoding you want. Usually it's UTF-8, but you could want some older encoding. There's a list there.
Mm-hmm.
So we support in general things like here old Mac encoding or Latin 1, ISO 88591 is often used for Linux things. There's Windows text encoding, native, whatever the platform uses. We
Mm-hmm.
can also, with white text functions, we can do UTF-16 here, big endian, a little endian. If you need some other older encodings here, for whatever reason, we also have them, but hardly ever use them. Nowadays, everything is UTF-8. Yeah.
There you go. Uh,
Hmm.
back with another web viewer question. Uh, I would like to have a web viewer that opens up a web page in a pre-scaled view. Um, is there a way to set a percentage like 65% so all the pages in the web viewer open at that size?
You can, why is a web viewer? Yeah. Web view, we have a couple of web view functions, and there are things like zoom. Set zoom here. So you can tell the plugin which web viewer and give a scaling factor. Here's a number.
There you
And
go.
I think that may work. We used to have the that zoom function for Windows and the page size multiplier for Mac,
Mm-hmm.
which more or less do the same. So for the version 15.4,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure that both functions work on both. So whether you like to pass a percent value as a fraction, like yeah,
Mm-hmm.
0.5 for 50%, or you like the zoom function to pass at 50, it doesn't matter.
There
But
you go.
yeah, so
It's very doable, and it's not complicated, which is always nice. You
yeah,
said like version 19. I was like, wait, Christian, did we skip like
15. We are
five? Yeah.
15.
Did I
I'm sorry.
blink and you added another 5,000 functions? What happened?
Yeah. Yeah, so I added that zoom at a time where Internet Explorer was the current browser engine. I later
Oh.
update it here for Edge. And I added a bit earlier the page size multiplier for Mac and iOS, and now basically they are mapped. So you can use both with the next version, which avoids some hassle to have if, if Windows then this, if Mac then this.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll probably end up using percentage if I have to do that. Uh, uh, on a Mac, I want to run a PSAW script that loads a PDF that was generated on the server into a container field. After running the PSAW, I want to export the container field data into a new path. The second operation is done locally. I'm trying to use MBS plugin for these operations, since steps like insert PDF do not work on the server. How do I do this?
Yeah, we have some container functions, and there is container read file, which is exactly what you want. You pass in a file path, and it reads it into a variable, and then you can decide what to do, like first check if there's an error maybe, and then put it in a container field. So the script on the server could output a file, let's say with save records as PDF to a temporary folder or documents path. And then when the save records as PDF is finished and has no error, you can use the plugin function to read it into a variable and then put that in a field. And on the client side, when you want to export it, maybe automatically write it to the desktop folder, you can, of course, just use FileMaker's export all field values. Or we have container white file, where you pass in whatever file path you have to write the file.
There you go. So makes that pretty non-complicated in the grand scheme of things. What was this? Another server question. I need help getting a FileMaker server to script files on a separate NAS/shared volume. I have tried the MBS plugin, but I'm making a mistake. Any ideas how to do this? Question mark.
Files not. So your FileMaker server runs under a separate user account on the server, which is not the same account that you use when you log in there as an admin.
Mm-hmm.
So if you mount a shared volume from a file server as an admin, it's only mounted for you. There may be tricks on the operation system level to mount something for all users on the computer, which is a security nightmare, of course, because any malware would just delete all your files. So the solution I usually do is have the plugin mount whatever file share you want, and then do some operation and tell the plugin to unmount it. So you can pass in whatever URL you have, a username, password, and on the server there's of course no interactive thing, so there's no dialog popping up. But we have here examples. You may just mount a local disk from a local file share. On Windows, it's usually something like here with a lot of backslashes, and you can specify which drive letter you want on Windows, but usually you just pass an empty string, so we automatically pick one, which is available. Then you can later unmount it. And here are some more examples. Yeah, on Windows Server, there may be things like you need domain prefix. So here this is a username with a prefix, and there's a server IP with a share name, and yeah. On Linux, there are more options passed as an option string.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever this file system mount utility in the background needs as options, you can pass here a string. Yeah, and we have a blog article here about this where I try to explain the difference between the different accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Like your script runs in an account for FileMaker. The FileMaker server runs maybe as FM server.
Oh.
And you are logged in as admin, and admin has a mounted shared drive, which the FM server can't access. So we mount it ourselves and do a copy. Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, here's another blog article.
there you go.
Yeah. So the key thing is to have a script which goes and mounts a disk. If it's not yet mounted, copy some file over and then unmounts it if needed. Yeah.
There you go. Cool. Let us know if you got any follow-ups to that one. That helps you fix the issue. Hi, is there a way to have MBS help attach several documents to a single email? I know that I can zip file into one attachment, but I don't want to do that.
Well, we have a couple of email functions here. So there is send mail, which is if you send by a script with our curl functions through an SMTP server.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for sending in a script without user interaction. You can also use the curl functions to upload the email to the sent folder in an IMAP account, so the person sees the email as being sent, you know. Then the next possibility is we have Win send mail functions. So this is on Windows to control applications like Outlook or Thunderbird, to ask them kindly to make a new email. And then we have here add attachment file, which can do several attachments. You just call it several times. That's a possibility.
Mm-hmm. So you just loop through it?
Yeah, you just loop over whatever file list you have and then add all the files. as a file, yeah. And then we have on Mac another way, which is share panel sharing service. Huh? Okay, this one is for iOS, this one is for macOS. So on Mac, you can say, I would like to share some items. And this can be a container if you would like to share a picture, for example, or you can pass in file paths. So on Mac, you can ask the mail applications through sharing services to share an email. Well, share files as an email. Yeah. So there is a service named here Apple Share Mail Compose, which makes a new email. There's also the possibility to share over Outlook, if that's the mail client of choice.
Mm-hmm.
And this should also do the several files if you pass several file paths here. So you can pass URLs, native file paths, style text, which is also a nice thing because you can make a new email with style text from FileMaker through this function on Mac.
Yes.
Yeah, which I don't think you can do with AppleScript.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I'm just making the APIs available. And there's also the share panel for, what is it, sharing panel for iOS, which also has functions to add file paths and so you can add things from containers, from files, add style text, and then you can call here the present function, which actually shows the panel, and then the user can click on email and then get a new email, or click on message and get a new message. And you can set a script to be called whenever this thing is finished. So different ways for different operation system.
There you go. So you have a huge variety of options depending what you're doing, which is always nice. Where was the next question? Is there an MBS function to SQL insert or update many records at once?
Yeah. Is that all?
Yes.
Let's say SQL. So the question is first, SQL within FileMaker or to another database?
Let's say within
Maybe
FileMaker first.
maybe let's say you want to insert some data and you have JSON. So you can call our JSON insert records function to pass in the file name, the table name, and an array in JSON with all the field names and the values. The plugin will then insert all the rows from the JSON into your database. This will create maybe 100 records in a call if you have as many in the JSON. There's a possibility. We also have a thing here, XML insert records. So if you have an XML block and for records, you can do that. So
there you go.
Yeah, we may have other things. We also have update. I mean, that's also a possibility. JSON update. The JSON thing is nice because you can pass the data as JSON, which gives it some structure.
Mm-hmm.
Like you pass in the identifiers. So we need to have an idea how to find the records. Like here, find all records where first name is either Joe or Bob, and then change the last name to Miller. So we could update several records based on what you pass. We also have update record. So we have the older version here with fields. So you would want to update some records. You would have 1 to 5 ID fields to identify the records, and then you have new values. And like here, find all the records where category is houses, and then that this field to that value and this field to that value. So it doesn't need to be your primary key. It can be just any field you want to match. And under the hood, we write SQL statements for you.
There you go. Let us know if you got like more detailed questions. Yes, it exists, and now you've got a lot of options.
Let's be on SQL and insert. There's also insert records. So if you have, you got here our FMS SQL function, so you can run a SQL query against the FileMaker database, and then from that get a set of records, and then you can ask the plugin to insert these records into another file with another table, and copy records from one table to another. With SQL as a way to select, and you can also here limit it to, like you can say, first 10 rows only or so. But you could also do that in the SQL statement where you find the data, and you can pass in the list of field names. So the field names in the source table and the destination table don't need to be the same. Yeah.
There you go. Cool. It's actually nice they don't need to be the same. The source and the destination, that's nice.
Yeah, let's say you have one database with French names for the fields and English database.
Yeah, that'd be actually, that's really nice. Because I'm sure those exist out there.
Let's see, there's also SQL insert records, which allows you to take the result of a SQL request on an external database and insert them into your FileMaker database. Like you connect to MySQL, you make a select statement to get, for example, the sales from today, and then put them into your local database.
Oh, that's actually really, yeah, okay.
Yeah. The other way around is also possible to make a select in FileMaker and send it to, for example, MySQL database.
It's very, well, it makes integration a lot simpler.
Yeah, we have a lot of people using our SQL functions to do this kind of synchronization things, where you find data on one side and moves it to the other side.
That makes sense.
Yeah, like here.
Especially if you don't need you just need some very specific data that needs to be passed back and forth. Just do it with MBS.
Yeah, if you don't like to have the external SQL sourced connection, and you want to just open the connection in the script, say we open it now, we move some data, and then we close it. Yeah.
There you go. Oh, we have our, it always cracks me up every time. We have our Q&A PDF question. You ready? We always get one of these. Can you do you have the ability to create PDFs with clickable buttons? I work at a travel agency and generate price quotations. Customers would love to book a product just by clicking on a PDF.
I think we did that.
We probably have. We've probably covered this many times, but it doesn't hurt because everyone pops in there like, oh, can I do this? So.
Yeah, you can do it. Let me
You have an
find it.
example for it, right? Yeah.
I think, let's see, is it in the forms example here? Create template PDF with buttons. That sounds good. Let's see. Okay, here's a create button thing. It makes a reset button. So you can create buttons with DynaPDF. There's a function for that, which creates a button. It gets a name. It gets a text to show. It can be part of a group. It has some coordinates on the page, so you can see it. A ton of things. You can have events on it, like mouse up, mouse down. So you can put in some JavaScript code to react to it. And you can have an action. So we create a button here named reset. And then we create a reset action, and we attach the action to the mouse up event on the button. So when you click the button, all the form fields get reset. And we have a couple of text fields on this form, so they would get the original value. Then there's a submit button, which also has the name submit. and some coordinates, and it gets a submit action. And the submit action has the possibility to tell some flags. And this is for sending the PDF to your server. So there's a script on the server which takes the PDF, and I think we had a previous live stream on this. So you can read about that. And the next thing is to connect the action to the button. Then you can also have an XML submit where you would set a different flag to say, I want the XML data, not the PDF data. And then you can also have other buttons, try button to send email. Yeah. So there's another action where we send the PDF as email back home. There are a lot of other actions possible.
Yes.
Let's go to the documentation. Create. Oh no. Dyna PDF create action. So there are go-to actions, so you can click on a button and jump to somewhere else in the PDF, somewhere else in to URL. Here, URL action is also possible. There are JavaScript actions where you can write JavaScript code to run within the PDF document. So like this one here, this is a simple JavaScript code which uses the get field function in JavaScript to ask what the first text field here, text field value 1, has, and then gets the value from the other text field and the third text field, and then it makes a difficult calculations like this, and puts the result in the event, which ends up in the sum field here, because this is on calc. So whenever a field changes, there's an on calc event, and so it will do the calculation again. And so this allows you to have text fields in the PDF, and they auto update. Yeah. What was the question? No, I forgot the question.
The question was about, I think he wanted people to be able to like check out with products, but I think you've covered.
Yeah, this would be probably go to URL action.
Yeah.
So you would have a button which opens the URL to your web shop.
Yes.
And maybe passes in the ID of the product,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. For that, you could also just have a web link, So the PDF web link allows you to have a piece of the page be marked to have a URL. And if you click on this part of the page, it opens the URL. So it doesn't need to be a button. It could just be the picture of the product. And you click on the picture of the product, and it jumps you to the web shop.
That would be nice. There you go. That's a smooth way of handling it. We have a follow-up from Next Tech. Back to the FTP function, getting MBS invalid curl reference. The option to pick file from container curl set input file. Do we need to change the curl set option upload line to something other than 1?
Oh, no. When you use set input, well, basically when you run a curl transfer, it's by default a download. So if you want to send something, if you want to upload something, you have to tell curl that it's about sending a file. So it's an upload, and we set the upload flag. This is independent of whether you set input file or set input text or set input or open input file. So set input file. This was made originally for file containers, like a container containing actually file, like a Word file. But I also had functions like set input JPEG, set input PNG for pictures, and then we just decided eventually, well, the picture file would also be fine here. We just take whatever data is in the container and upload it. And then if you actually want to open a file on disk, there's an open input file function.
Does that answer your question, Next Tech?
Yeah, and setting an option you don't need doesn't matter much. It's just a millisecond for the script step.
Mm-hmm.
Curl has 200 something options. And I bet we have a sample file for uploading FTP. So you could just put in your URL. Don't forget the file name in the URL to name the new file on the server. You may usually check where you come. So when you have an FTP login, you have a starting folder. So if you go on this server, this is not an actual server, but if you go there, you end up in some folder which may be /user/your name/web.
Got it.
And so this file would be created in that start folder. If you pass in a folder name here in the URL, it would start from this folder. So you can have subfolders there and upload to them. There's also the option to create directories on the fly if needed. Curl the create missing directories here. So there's a flag you can set to tell curl to create whatever directory is in your URL. Yeah.
The file is a non-standard extension, so they can import, but it is a text file with a TST file extension.
Well, our container read file function doesn't care for the extension, and the upload function also doesn't care for the extension. So it's just some metadata passed through.
Mm-hmm. So that shouldn't be causing any issues.
No. Any other questions?
We do have some actually. Let me where I had it and then I lost it. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Is there a way to set the preferences / username for each user? Primarily running on Windows and Mac. Not worried about FMGO and I don't use WebDirect.
What do you want to set?
He said, is there a way to set the preferences / username for each user?
Oh yeah, you mean in the FileMaker? Yeah. Where is it? In the settings. Yeah, this field here.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's possible.
Oh, is it?
So, of course it is.
Of course it is.
So pref set. So we have preferences set value for Mac, which would here have the option. There's an option named username. Wait, that's not FileMaker's username. Here, this is FileMaker's username. So you would have to tell the plugin you want to modify the FileMaker preference file, which has been the same format since version 12. And there's a field named preferences, / username. Case-sensitive spelling, don't mess it up. And you pass in the text. There's also the flag whether you actually want to use the username. So you would have to modify the appgen options value, and here make sure the fourth bit is set to 8. Yeah. So we read the value, we set the bit for 8, and then we write the value back.
Mm-hmm.
And this would do it for Mac. Please be aware that if you go to the preference dialog and close it, FileMaker will override this. So you better do this before quitting FileMaker. So make sure that nobody overrides it, because we write it directly to the preference. And when you next time go to the preference dialog, you would overwrite whatever value FileMaker wants to have there. Then there's also the possibility to go for Windows. Windows has a very famous registry for things. Set value. So the search is really handy. Set username for FileMaker. So you need to know the path to this property. So software FileMaker, FileMaker Pro Advanced 16. You may go to the registry and actually double check this. The Advanced is outdated. The version number is outdated here in the example preferences. There's a key username with space, very important to match exactly. And then you put in whatever you want, and the type is text, of course. Yeah, so yeah, here version 20, so it's probably now 22. So make sure you set this for the version you are using.
There you go. I can't believe that you can do that. I mean, I can actually. It's Christian, but still.
Again, we are modifying the value stored in the location where the performance is saved.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure that FileMaker doesn't override it. So it's usually the best that you do it before quitting FileMaker
There you go. Oh,
for the next time.
yes. Uh, Hi. We want to read the output of some weighting scales in the factory and read it into our FileMaker solution. The idea is that a production order today printed on paper, think a cooking recipe is migrated to an iPad-based solution, and the operator reads in the scales output to check in store. Can the MBS plugin help with this?
Sure. No, what scale?
Yeah, about to say,
So,
what kind of scale is it?
okay, let's say the first version is you have a scale with a serial port.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the oldest stuff. The serial port may be, COM port, parallel port. It could even be nowadays USB, even USB-C, and you plug it in, and it's just within the scale. There's a USB-C to serial port converter, and it's actually internally a serial port still. Then you would use our serial port functions. You would connect. You would maybe see in the menu for the scale how it get programmed. Some scales just send a data package whenever you make a measurement, and you can just listen for that. Other scales need you to send a command. Let's see, did I put an example here? Yeah. Okay, this is some other device, but we had to send a command, which is in the shortest form just one thing, like here maybe Z for zero out, and then like M for measure or so, and every command would be ended with here carriage return and line feed, and then we would wait a second, and then we would read whatever comes from the port with one of our read functions, and just check what's coming. Yeah. Yeah, we have some example scripts here. Oh, weight and grams. Okay, this is an example from a scale.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah, so we list the ports. We pick one. We open the port. Yeah, COM4. We set a baud rate. That's also every serial connection has some settings
Mm-hmm.
like stop bits, data bits, whether it's how the handshake is made. Um, yeah, we read some data here. We read data until we get something, and yeah, then the values. So this scale just sends us a number. But other scales have some data packages where there's maybe a prefix byte with a length and some checksum or so. So it can be different. If you don't have one with serial port, you may have one with an Ethernet port, Ethernet socket with maybe Wi-Fi, if it's a wireless transmission. Could even be serial over Bluetooth. So this would show up as a serial port, but would be implemented through Bluetooth. If you want to use the socket functions for this, you can do that. Again, you would connect to whatever socket it is with a port number and IP in your local network. And then you would probably write some message there like, please send data, send the current measurement, and then wait a little bit to read the answer, or I don't know. Oh, what's this? Measurement for one scale. That's another thing I did in the last years. I get these questions all the time. Let's see.
Yes.
Okay, we send a reset command, which is encoded with an @ sign. Then we
Hmm.
disable keyboard. So keyboard mode 3, which is turned everything off.
Hmm.
Like the keyboard could be, I think the keyboard had, a lot of options,
Hmm.
and there was a possibility to have it unlocked, so the user could fully use it fully use the keyboard. But otherwise, you could say, I want just a few buttons be enabled, like the measure button, or you could here completely disable everything. I'll then set the scale to 0. Yeah, set command, which looks like the one we had our serial port just a second ago. Huh?
Yes. Very
Um,
similar.
then here, measurement. So there are configuration options. For some reason, we send it twice, the same. Oh, no, here. M21, then 1 and 0. I don't remember what this was, but it says here measurement comes. Check your manual and send expected weight and tolerance. So there's another command where we send in whatever we expect. Like we expect 400 grams with a tolerance of 50. And then, we wait for the measurement. And as you see, we read data until we get some answer. And we actually check here if we have the end of line character here in the data. So we wait until we get that, because data may be coming in several pieces, and we have to maybe read several times until we get all the pieces. There's an answer where an answer, and one of the commands sends us the actual weight here, and then we have to do a little bit math. Oh, that's in German. So usually you have this with some packaging operation in a warehouse, where the item we are sending has a certain weight. The card box has a weight, and the invoice we add has a weight. And so you want to weight the box with the content and make sure that the box has the right weight when it leaves the warehouse. Oh yeah, here, enable keyboard. Okay. So this is a script we made with a client to do the measurements there.
There you go. We got a lot of options, which is nice. That's one nice thing about NBS software, that you always got a lot of answers. Not only do you have an answer, you have multiple options for answers.
Yeah, but it's amazing. You have so many connectivity options, and it always turns to be either a serial port or a socket. And if the customer says Bluetooth, I can say, yeah, is it a network over Bluetooth, or is it serial over Bluetooth?
Which cracks me up. That's great. We have one last question if you want to snag it before I let you go away. This is a familiar question to you, but it pops up. Uh, um, Sometimes users have a plugin installed but disabled, or the plugin is old and doesn't load and initialize. How do I make sure the plugin uh, install plugin script step works if the plugin was disabled?
You should never disable plugins. Yeah, there's a problem. When you have a disabled plugin,
Mm-hmm.
FileMaker still loads it,
Mm-hmm.
reads the metadata, and then unloads it, which can cause a lot of trouble, especially if you have a plugin like ours, which modifies FileMaker a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So don't disable plugins. The thing is, you could ask FileMaker for the plugins you have.
Mm-hmm.
Like you remember data viewer, there's this get plugin JSON thing where you can see if the plugin is there already and maybe disabled. You could check the file path. Well, there needs MBS plugin to read the plugins folder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've never tried if what install script step does. If you have the plugin disabled and then you try to install, well, it's an edge case. Yeah, it would be Yeah, well, if it doesn't work, you should report this to Claris so they can fix it.
Yes, they do. They are on top of their bugs these days, or working on it. So you should let them know. Um, but yes, don't disable your plugins. Final advice for the day. I didn't realize that FileMaker would load the. I've never disabled because I use it constantly. Why would I? But I didn't realize that FileMaker would load the plugin and then disable it.
Yeah, so FileMaker loads it to get this string here.
Mm-hmm.
This description string from the plugin. Also, the plugin has an internal ID, so FileMaker wants to know that. And here the string. So in file, if FileMaker sees a plugin and can't load it on FileMaker server, you would see something like here, missing plugin name, and until it can load it and ask the plugin for its name. But when you load MBS plugin, it already does a couple of things. Yeah.
There you go. Cool. Okay, good to know, actually. That thing
Yeah, and
said,
sometimes we have trouble with customers to get the plugin to load again. So we actually have to move it out of the plugins folder. Then FileMaker, then launch FileMaker without the plugin, then close FileMaker, then put the plugin back in, and then FileMaker will forget that it was disabled, you know?
That's a nightmare and a half. So don't do that. That's no thank you. Decline. Just don't disable it. I mean, I don't think it takes up. I've never had an issue with FileMaker where like MBS is causing the problem. Like that's happens pretty much never. And it shows in the background doing its own thing. So
Yeah, if someone has a question or an idea, they can send me an email at support@monkeypotsoftware.de or .com.
yes.
I think .com may also work. And all the things in the plugin are usually there because someone asked. So we got the serial port and socket examples because someone asked, how can I do that? We coded it together and then I put it into the examples so other people can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, Christian's amazingly on top of it. Me and I think RC got a function added at some point for or altered, but Christian has always been super on top of answering emails. It's like he's famous in the community for it because he does such a great job at it. So feel free to send him
Yeah,
one.
and think about it. If you need a new function and I just decide, okay, maybe worth my time to spend an hour or two on the function and edit for you, then we're all happy.
Yes,
And
you
with
get
something like Claris, to get something in the new release, you might now you have to convince something like 100 people to actually do it. I mean,
yes, no. Christian is far easier to convince. He
yeah.
has been successfully convinced 7,700 times. So, what's the number again, Christian? Or what are we at now?
We do have a statistics page for this, 7,718
Excellent.
as of today.
Woo! Thank you so much, Christian. Seriously, it's always awesome having you on. Oh, some people are saying they're going to go see you in Hamburg. So,
Yeah. I'll be in Hamburg for the FileMaker conference, and I plan to go to Japan this year, and I will be in Antwerp for Engage You. And for next year, we are all waiting for Claris to announce their conference and then schedule what
yes.
happens.
Yeah, no, which we'll get that eventually. So, that'll.
But you should go maybe to Full Access. I mean, that's nearby you. Los
Oh,
Altos.
that's close. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to go. You know, I'm pretty sure I saw an email today, which I haven't checked yet, about full access in my email somewhere. So I'm pretty sure someone popped up and was like, yo, are you guys showing up? So I'll be looking at that. All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I will see you all, not Monday, Tuesday. And I hope you all have a lovely day.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
relational.